for it all.
Thank you for joining me today on Haynes Cast on Election Day. I'm going to give a prediction that I think could happen. It's a little bit out on a limb, but I'm going to go ahead and go for it. I just feel like with all the talks of civil unrest and all the talks of Harris being a tiebreaker and potential illegals rising up if Trump wins, or Trump supporters rising up if Harris wins, or stolen election, or voter fraud, anything like that. I'm going to go something a little bit different of a scenario, and I believe that could take place. Now, I had 3 or 4 that I really was kind of weighing into, but I'm going to go with this one where I believe that Trump is going to win. I mean, it's a prime opportunity for Trump to cut a deal with globalists. Maybe he's feeling like it's on his terms. He's not really part of the global elite as far as on their terms. But we have to understand if you're making deals, and if you're making deals, you can make a deal with the devil and not even know it. And so it's got to go as it is written. And so with the globalist movement into this one world order, as we see things unfolding through the World Economic Forum, through the World Health Organization, through the World Banking System, or BRICS, there's a lot of different ways and pieces of the puzzle that have to come be put together. And maybe they just might think that if Trump's in there, that he could be the guy that helps them, and maybe he could tell them that he's their man. He may say, I'm not going to follow the way you want to get there, but he may have some ideas, being the Art of the Deal book. He had that book, The Art of the Deal. He's just will apply some of his tactics to making deals with some of the globalists. And I know he's already talked about 15-minute like Trump cities. A while back, I did a podcast on that on Haynes Cast, not on YouTube, but on Spotify. But he could be somebody that they want to see to help the peace and security in the Middle East and around the world, maybe to help clean some things up in Ukraine and with Putin. And we know that there's always higher officials. It's not always what we see and read about in the news. There's always something going on. It's never really what it's all about. And so I just feel like it's way too obvious for them to let this opportunity pass. We see Harris and the fact that she's way, as far as left, right, conservative, and not conservative, she's on the far left side of the spectrum. And it gets people upset, and it gets churches upset, and it gets conservatives upset. And so, Trump could say anything, and churches are going to go with it. And a lot of people who typically might feel like he's not, they don't like what he says, or some of the things like may offend them the way he handles it. But when they see how bad, the opponent is, then it gets them on board with his thinking, at least to vote for him. And so, and I'm not saying I'm against him. I'm not saying not to vote. I'm not saying who to vote for. All I'm saying is, with a left-right paradigm, I believe in elections, but not fake elections. And if if you think your vote counts, then I think do whatever you think. But maybe on a local level, I can agree with that. But on a level like this, it's just, there's so much deception, and there's too many things that can happen for a purpose. And so to me, it's very obvious. Harris, makes no sense when she talks. She repeats herself over and over, scripted, and Trump seems to be hitting on all cylinders. After listening to Harris, it's kind of like how could anybody not vote for somebody who sounds reasonable, sounds logical, sounds like he can get the job done. But I just feel like the elevation of a man by the church, by a nation, to elevate him and like he's going to be this, the savior of America, and the delegating this world peace. He's not saying world peace, but we're seeing like Muslims for Trump. We're seeing Japan for Trump, and all these things, nations and areas pulling together, wanting peace because they're tired of the wars and rumors of wars. And so maybe this could just be the opportunity for the World Economic Forum and world leaders to see that Trump gets in there. It seems to me, again, an obvious tactic to be able to rally Christians around a man that obviously he brought, it was touted the warp speed, during the times of forced injections. And then he also had the churches locked down. And so he, said, try this for a couple weeks. And so church people listened, and there's still churches that didn't open back up. So I know Israel's all for Trump. It seems like everybody voting on Trump, wanting Trump because he has the ability, so to speak, to bring about some sort of deal with peace and to bring people together. And I don't know, he could work with Netanyahu. Maybe he could help, the early stages of the construction of the third temple. He likes to get things done, so to speak, and maybe some of these leaders like this. But it could help them get closer to doing this. I know in 1987, again, he was credited to the book. Also, he had somebody, I think, help him with that. I don't know if they forwarded it. I think it was a journalist, Tony Schwartz. But anyway, it was this Art of the Deal book that was the first book credited to Trump. 1987 helped make him a household name, The Art of the Deal. So we have to keep those things in mind. Is he, working out deals to where, he's trying to keep, make America great again? Israel's trying to build the third temple again. And also, Harris is trying to build back better. So we have these scenarios where it's, something's going to be built to get better. And it's just an opportunity to see the signs of the times where we are with Israel in the land, with Israel, as a light of prophecy with what's going on there in the Middle East and with war going on there, and knowing that there's going to be a peace treaty signed by the Antichrist that kicks off the tribulation. Daniel 9:27 talks about a confirmed peace treaty or a confirmed covenant, and it has to go the way it is written. And but if however it gets there, we just don't know. So I'm not saying I'm pro Trump or I'm not for Trump or Harris. God's in control. He's going to use who he's going to use. But as far as bringing, talks from churches to a level of if you don't vote for Trump, then you're not, fulfilling your purpose as a Christian, your right to vote. But I don't see that in the scriptures where, we are told we must vote. God, he brought us judges, during the time, Samson and Deborah and Samuel. They were judges, and so they judged Israel. They brought about their against their enemies. They defeated their enemies during these times, and then we had the kings in Israel and all around the land. But it was the seed of David that would battle the seed of the serpent, Genesis 3. And so it's a seed war, and it's a seed that Satan is trying to usurp the throne of Jesus, the millennial reign, which I believe is setting the stage for the millennial kingdom, and the usurping of that, Satan wanting to rule and reign in the place of Jesus on the throne of David on this earth during the 1,000-year reign of Christ. And so it ties into that. So I guess with my prediction, I know it can go different ways, and I know I don't know for sure. Obviously, only God knows. But I'm going to predict a Trump victory, and instead of seeing a lot of civil unrest, I think we might see some, everyone pulling behind Trump on both sides of the aisle, and seeing a nation appear to be coming together, and then possibly some things looking like they're getting cleaned up in Ukraine-Russia conflict, and also in Israel, which I believe, if that's the case, that could set up that scenario in the future for the Ezekiel battle 38-39, where Russia comes down against Israel. And because it's never over, the enemy continues to come at Israel. The enemy continues to want to have this one world establishment to where he can, he's going to deceive the nations. He wants to be worshiped as God. He sets himself up in the third temple as though he is God. And that's, he confirms that covenant that kicks off the 7-year tribulation period. All the players are there. The stage is set for this, and so we're watching it play out. And so whatever happens, again, I don't know for sure, but I thought I would make a prediction that could happen for a closer end time prophecy event that will happen when the Antichrist comes on the scene. And so I don't know, keep those things in mind. And until next time, thanks for listening to Haynes Cast.